Our time now is 12:30, and we are joined with regional spokesperson for the TSA, Jessica Mail. Good afternoon, Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, the TSA now is preparing for the holiday traveling, and many people, of course, will be flying out of North Dakota during this holiday time period. And Jessica, how about some tips and maybe a little help in the screening process to make sure that everything is going safe and efficient? So let's start with arrival time at the airport. What is a correct time or a recommended time for those that are traveling?
So we recommend 2 hours for domestic flights, 3 hours for international. We consider that from when you step in the terminal. So if you have parking or drop-off issues, make sure you take care of that. And of course, we know, sometimes smaller airports have quicker turnarounds, smaller lines.
Mm-hmm.
So you know your situation best, especially, maybe you're traveling with kids or you have extra stuff. So you know what's best for you. But for most people, 2 hours is a good rule of thumb.
2 hours, okay. What are some common mistakes travelers make during the holiday season that can also slow down that security process?
So bringing prohibited items through the checkpoint is the number one thing, and travelers have such a responsibility in this. Make sure you know what's in your bag. We recommend starting with an empty bag. You're much less likely to put something in that you shouldn't have versus grabbing a bag from your last trip and you don't really remember what's in every zippered pocket or anything like that. So start
Mm-hmm.
with an empty bag. If you aren't sure about an item, can I have this in my check bag? Can I have this in my carry-on? Go to our website, tsa.gov. We have a feature called What Can I Bring? You can type in the name of an item, get very specific, and it will tell you whether you can bring it or not. Saves you so much time if you put that time in while you're at home packing versus when you're at the checkpoint trying to make your flight.
Sure. Are there any specific considerations for traveling with food or beverages during the holidays? Say I want to take Aunt Edna's fruitcake back home with me. What kind of guidelines we got there?
Fruitcake is good in both the carry-on and checked baggage. But, we just want to remind people about our liquids rules. So 3.4 ounces or less is good for carry-on. Anything above that needs to go in your check bag. And when we're talking about food, we say if you can spill it, spray it, spread it, pump it, or pour it, it counts as a liquid. So, holiday foods, kind of think about preserves, spreadable cheeses, things like that. Those need to be under 3.4 ounces or put them in your carry-on. Wine, champagne, alcohol, that would need to go in your check bag because it's going to be over the size limit.
Okay. So, Jessica, I'm somewhat of a novice of a traveler. I've only flown twice in my life. Maybe you can help me with this. Confirm your known traveler number. What is that?
So if you are a member of our TSA PreCheck program, it's our expedited screening program. When you sign up for that and you're approved, you get this number. It's called your known traveler number. You attach it to your plane reservations. And sometimes when people don't take this step again before they get to the airport, they show up and they don't have that PreCheck symbol on their boarding pass. And they're very disappointed because you want to have that symbol on your boarding pass so you can go through the PreCheck lane. That's the benefit of the program. So make sure that you have attached this known traveler number to all of your airline reservations. You do it when you book, and then when you get your boarding pass the day of, it has that TSA PreCheck symbol, and it helps you get through that TSA PreCheck line and all the benefits.
Sure. So, is there an app that you might need to download or something like that?
There is a TSA app that you can find, and again, you can find wait times there. You can find information about prohibited items, so that's a good one to have. But even if you don't download the app, we're on social media. You can always contact us that way or through our website, tsa.gov.
Okay. What advice do you have for travelers who are flying with young children or even infants?
Yeah, so again, give yourself extra time. Oversized liquids are allowed if you are traveling with kids. So breast milk, formula, even juice, things like that. If you have children, you don't have to adhere to that 3.4 ounce limit. But just let the officer know that you are bringing those oversized items, and they'll scan them appropriately. They'll give you extra screening, so maybe give yourself a little more time. Any sort of gear is going to need to go through the x-ray. So strollers, baby carriers, toys, all of that stuff. Again, I know you're traveling with kids, you have extra stuff. All of that's going to need to go through the x-ray machine. And the other thing is that if you do have TSA PreCheck, which we just talked about, your children
Mm-hmm.
17 and under also get that benefit, whether or not they are enrolled in the program, as long as you're all on the same reservation.
Okay. Um, so if Thanksgiving is any indication of what holiday travel is going to be like for this Christmas holiday, it's going to be super busy. What can you provide any tips for navigating a busy airport during the holiday travel season?
Yeah, definitely. Just that tip about arriving early. So many of these issues that travelers have at the checkpoint, they're really stressed because they're trying to make it to their gate. So if you really do give yourself enough time, in that 2 hours that we recommend, there's plenty of time to take care of anything unexpected that comes up. The other tip I want to give that we haven't talked about yet is gifts. If you are traveling with gifts, make sure that they are either unwrapped, or we recommend gift bags, because if the gift sets off an alarm, we're going to need to open it up and see what that item is. So holiday travel, if you do have gifts, make sure that they are unwrapped or in a gift bag.
Okay. What should passengers do if there is a delay or a cancellation of their flight? I remember my last flight, I had to catch a layover from Omaha to Denver back here to Bismarck, and it was literally, I think I had maybe 25 minutes to get from one side of the airport to the other in Denver. It's a fairly big size airport. I could not imagine doing it if I had family or young ones doing it. I barely made it, and I was just alone. So what would you do if there was a delay or a cancellation possibly on your flight?
Yeah, so recommend that you just keep in touch with your airline. The apps are really good these days. They'll tell you where things are. They'll tell you how much time you have. Working with them if you need to rebook. TSA works with the airlines and the airports so that we are staffed appropriately. And sometimes what will happen if there's a big bank of flights that are canceled, those people show up the next day when maybe they had originally been scheduled the day before. So we keep in touch. We know when there are changes like that. But again, make sure you know before you go to the airport, what's the status of your flight? Is it leaving on time?
Yeah, I know you kind of talked a little bit about traveling with, your gifts. Of course, during the holidays, you're probably going to a relative's and you may be exchanging gifts, and they're already open. But how can travelers ensure that that their gifts are going to be safe, going through security in traveling?
Yeah, definitely. And again, we want your gifts to make it to their destination. We're going to take care of all of your property appropriately. But yeah, that guidance. I know sometimes people are a little disappointed maybe if they open their suitcase, and this applies to both checked and carry-on bags. Maybe open their suitcase and they see something has been unwrapped. And again, we're just trying to make sure that everyone is safe. We really just don't want any items on that plane that aren't supposed to be there. So if possible, again, gift bags or even wrapping at your destination saves you a little bit of time and helps keep everyone safe.
Sure. Jessica, are there any additional security measures that are in place during the holiday season that maybe the travelers should be aware of?
TSA we always operate at that top level of security. We have a lot of things going on, both seen and unseen, to keep travelers safe. So I would just say the best thing travelers can do, giving themselves plenty of time, and then listening to the instructions of officers. There's different technology at different airports, so your experience going through the lane is not going to be the same at every airport every time. We wouldn't expect you to memorize what we have at place every time, but if you listen to the instructions, you're paying attention, you're prepared with your ID when you approach the travel document checking station, it really will make the experience smoother for you and everyone in line behind you.
Absolutely. Jessica Mail, regional spokesperson for the TSA. I think it's going to be a very busy holiday travel season, so best of luck to you and everyone that's traveling this holiday season. Thank you for spending some time with us here on the KFYR Plus News Desk.
Yeah, thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you as well. 12:38 now here at the desk. We'll take a short break and we'll come right back with more news headlines coming up next on KFYR Plus.